Hello and welcome to Big Sky 35. Let's talk. I just want to talk about some of the things I watched this weekend on the YouTubes. Um, love seeing videos from the Dallas show. Saw one from Chantilly, Virginia, Northern Virginia, Dulles, whatever you call that area. They one show there, and the person I watched, Bottles and Ball Cards, mentioned that it wasn't as big. It was big, but it was he could tell it was smaller, and he thinks a lot of vendors went to Dallas, and probably some of the purchasers went to Dallas for that one. And that's what I kind of want to touch on was I talked to the guy at my LCS last week about this very topic. How many big shows can we have before there is burnout? Before there is a collapse of these? If it could withstand it, great. I mean, it's just opportunities in those areas. But I'll get to some cons here in a minute. But, having these shows and you know I just don't know if the selling power is going to be there and the buying power. Actually, the buying power is more of the problem. How long can the hobby stand going in and purchasing enough to support these huge shows? You have 500 tables, you better have a lot of people come in to buy. And to do that, you got to have a destination show, and that's what Dallas has turned into. People, they're calling it a mini national. Well, it's turned into, if he starts getting vendors there, like actual, like at the Panini and Tops, and some of them start showing up. I mean, it's a national. Uh, but I mean, yeah, and he's planning on doing this every 6 to 8 weeks. The way it sounds in some interviews I saw with the guy that runs it. Uh, and if it works, great for him. But what I have noticed too is like in my little area, and this is where I want to get on the cons of it, or the in my little area, people are going, the vendors are going to those shows, and if there's almost a show every weekend in Iowa. But like I said a few weeks ago, I went to a show and I didn't. The regular vendors weren't there. There was just people I've never seen before, and they were, set up with. It was a lot of retail, uh, and just boxes of stuff, and it was like a high end. It wasn't no medium, and uh, and it just wasn't, great selection. It was more like a swap meet than it was a card show to me. Just wasn't legit. I can't say legit. It just didn't feel like a regular one, and I just think they want to go where the money is, and the money is at these big shows. Right at this moment, you could go to Dallas and have thousands of people walk by you, or you can go to a small show in northern Iowa and have 20, 50, 100 people walk by you. So uh, that I just think it's going to start where people are going to stop having smaller, or people are going to stop being at the small shows, go to the big shows, and because if you got 500 tables, you got to have 500 people selling, and or not, one vendor might have three or four tables, but you know what I'm saying. You got to have hundreds of vendors there, and I just don't know how long this can last. You have the Chantilly show, which is three times. You got Philadelphia; they have several shows. Boston area, they have a couple of big shows. Uh, I know Long Beach Expo, which I don't know when the last time they've had that. And I mean, it's not just cards, but it's a big show, and it's one of the bigger ones on the West Coast. Um, and then now they're going to have one in Des Moines, Iowa, which is going to be, I think, pushing 400 tables with signers there. They started announcing people doing autographs this week. And that's the week before the national, actual weekend before the national. And I think the weekend before that is a Dallas show. So you have the Dallas show, the show here in Des Moines, and then the following week, the one in Chicago. I plan on going to one in Des Moines just because it's about a 2-hour drive for me, and I just want to go to it. I'm interested to see what's going to be there. And I kind of wanted to, Wisconsin and the Dells this past week or week before, they had a 400 table show. And I think they're going to have another one in the fall. It's just all these huge shows popping up. And they're not having a problem getting vendors to fill the tables. The problem is going to be the people coming in the door eventually. I think it's fine for regional shows and having, one or two a year, even 3 if it's spaced out like Chantilly. But I just don't know if the support's going to be there. And then I already see a little exhaustion coming on in the world of the hobby, and I feel like I just want to keep the great thing about the Nationals was it was once a year, right? That was the big show. There's other smaller shows during the year, like Chantilly, like the Philadelphia, like this guy down in Dallas, Fort Worth area. But the National is a big daddy. Well, if you keep having these other shows every week, you're just taking away from everything. And where is the want to go to all of these shows and the money to go? I know people want to go because, that's where your friends are at. You want to hang out, talk cards. But, the vendors are there to sell. And I'm not worried about it. It's a topic I think a great topic for discussion. I really haven't heard anybody talk about it. But that was just my thought on it was, man, if we keep having these huge shows around the country, how long can we withstand that? I just, I don't know, Walmart and Target came in, and how long did Kmart stay around? It's just, you can't have but so many big box stores, right? So how many of these can you have, and all of them being destination shows? And that was my thought on that. And then one other topic I wanted to talk on, and I would love to hear people's comments on these shows, is the dip. And I don't mean ranch or, queso. I'm talking about a dip in card prices. And, I've heard some people talk about it for different reasonings. And I just think it's we're getting back to normal. It's great seeing these ball games and hockey games and stuff with fans in the stands. Me and my dad talk about it. It's almost, I'm in awe watching fans behind the plate. It's awesome watching a baseball game, and I lose the fact there's a game. I want to see the people in the stands. I'm sitting there going, look, there's people. They're not cardboard. It's not blue seats. It's people. But I just think, that takes money, and it's not cheap to go to a ball game. Beaches are opening, amusement parks are opening, people are going to be vacationing, restaurants, all this stuff is opening, which takes away from, I believe, what money was being spent in the hobby. And on top of that, you have certain commodities that you have to live, like gasoline going up, and it's summertime, and this happens every summer. Gasoline goes up when travel goes up. So, and you got certain foods, you got things that are just going up in prices, and you have to spend your money to live instead of cards. So I'm not surprised we're having a dip, but the dip, I think, is on these huge cards. And I heard somebody use the Luca as a reference because it used to be $1,800 and now it's down to $900, and it was way higher than that at one point. And I just think another reasoning for this, if you're going to compare it, take a 2-year card, right? Well, that 2-year card, which is thousands of them have been graded now. They showed these tens of thousands were graded. People already have that card, right? The people that want the Luka rookie have it. There's only so you're starting to have more than the need. So that price is going to come down until it's at a price where the people that were on the fence of getting it, or oh, I like to have that rookie card in my collection, that weren't going to pay $1,800, it'll come to a price where they might get it. That's and a lot of people are happy with Raw as well. They don't have to get a 10. Um, I just think all of those factors are coming in play. And the newer players, this year's draft class in basketball was not like the last 2 years. This year, you can have 50 rookies in Topps Series 1, 2, and Update, but none of them are Fernando Tatis. None of them are Trout. None of them are Soto, Acuna. Um, you know, I mean, I dare you to find somebody that's batting over 300 in MLB right now. Yes, Shohei Ohtani's hitting 14 home runs and pitching, but his rookie card was what, 2017, 18? Trying to think, 18, I believe. So most people already have that rookie card. It was out there pretty cheap last year. I know I have sold some like rookie debuts myself this year. Not the rookies, flagship rookies, but the kind of the secondary opening day and all these ones that are rookie cards, but what people don't consider the rookie card. Um, so that's my thought on the dip, and I just I don't think cards will ever come back down to where they were. Um, and like on some things, like people are saying, like vintage went up, which on some of those cards it was probably okay, especially if you compare it to what modern cards are. I mean, you know, you buy a Luca for 1,800, but you can get a guy that's a Hall of Famer for $30. It just doesn't make sense. And I've talked about that before with the Vlad Guerrero a few years back when his rookie was $500 and you get his dad's card for $2. It didn't make any sense to me, and I'm glad Vlad's having a good year. I'm so happy that he is. If you've watched some of my past videos, how I thought about that. But with that being said, please let me know what you think about. I would love to have a conversation starter on thoughts on shows, because I love shows. I much rather go to shows than online. Uh, eBay is relatively new to me in this world. I've probably been doing it for 7 years now, maybe 8 years, where I've been purchasing on eBay. Which I know that sounds like a long time, but a lot of people have been purchasing on eBay for since the beginning. Um, and I love card shows, and I just want to know how other people think about that. I don't. I would hate to see them go away, because there was a time in my life where I couldn't find card shows, and it wasn't too long ago. And also about the dip, how what you're feeling that those problems are, if there is a problem. I just think there's a market correction, and I think it's well needed. Uh, so until next time, see ya.